everybody, this is Keith here of Euphoria Pictures. Welcome back to my channel. Right, so as promised, I am back to share with you my thoughts on the 4K transfer for The Conjuring. Now, I'm going to try and make this video as short and as sweet as I possibly can. Now, for all of you out there who want to see the unboxing for this collector's edition, thankfully I have done a video for it. I put it out last week, and what I'll do is I will leave a link in the description below for that video, and I would encourage you to check out this release. Every time I look at it, I'm slowly starting to fall in love with it, even though I was a little bit underwhelmed by its steelbook, but take nothing away from it. I still think it's a wonderful, wonderful release, and like I said, link in the description below for that video. Hope you do check it out. So yeah, me and Ellen finally got around to watching this one on Saturday. Now, I had to tell you, I had every intention in the world of maybe just including this in a weekly pickups video, because I honestly thought it was going to be one of those kind of subtle upgrades over the previous Blu-ray. But I had to tell you, it's so much more than that. Now, I'm not going to sit here and turn around and say that this is a night and day difference over that previous Blu-ray. It really isn't, but it does take some strides ahead of it. Particularly when you see the opening sequence. This one really took me by surprise, because I'm so familiar with The Conjuring on Blu-ray. I know exactly how it looks. And when you look at that scene with Ed and Lorraine Warren interviewing the three that are being haunted by the Annabelle doll, you will instantly notice a very cleaner image, a very sharper image. And you'll be surprised by the amount of detail that you can see on it, particularly when you see it on facial details. There is quite a lot going on here. So it was one of those things where I was like, okay, I'm in the presence of a 4K transfer. And it's very evident right from the get-go. So that was a very, very promising sign. Now, when I done my unboxing video for this, I talked about the colours, because I knocked it on for 5 minutes, and I said that the colours were somewhat subdued on this one. I didn't know the full picture behind it until I seen it in full, but I like the way it's done. Now, I don't know if this is me only seeing this. I did bring it up to Ellen. Ellen reckons she saw it as well, and I'm very curious to hear your thoughts out there. Now, whenever it's at Ed and Lorraine's house, you'll notice that the colours are so beautifully vibrant. The colours are very deep. You can clearly see that the HDR is really getting to flex its muscles on this one. But every time it actually goes to the house of the family that's been haunted, the colours are very subdued. Now, I'm sure this was going on the Blu-ray, but again, I think it's because of the HDR10 on this one. It just makes it that more evident. So I thought that was a nice touch, and I thought the HDR10 perfectly handled all of that. Now, I know I said this in my last video. I know there's going to be a lot of people out there that's disappointed that Dolby Vision didn't feature on this one. Now, I know there's a digital version out there that does come with Dolby Vision, but I have to tell you I am not disappointed whatsoever, because when you see how good the HDR looks in this one, I honestly think it'll put your mind at ease. I don't think Dolby Vision could have added more to it. I stand by what I said. I hope someday someone maybe does a video on the 4K release against the streaming, HDR versus Dolby Vision. I have a funny feeling there's not going to be much of a difference there. Do not let it put you off it. I think the HDR captures it all perfectly, and I was very, very impressed with it. Not only that, but wait till you see the black levels on this one. I don't know what it is with the Conjuring movies. Well, the movies that live in the Conjuring universe, the ones that got released on 4K, whether it's the third Conjuring movie, the two Nun movies in particular. There's something about the black levels on these movies that look absolutely extraordinary. Now, I have to tell you, the blacks on this are intense. They are intense. I don't think they go as deep as the Nun 2. For me, the Nun 2 is the perfect example of how deep black levels can go on a 4K release. But I have to tell you, The Conjuring is not a million miles away. Just look at the sequence where it's the mother of the house, where she goes down in the basement and all the lights go out and she's lighting the matches. I don't want to say too much about the scene because it's a pretty cool scene. But just watch when she lights those matches. Look at how deep the blacks are. But when she lights the match, You can see the color of the flame, and it never bleeds into those blacks. I think it looks extraordinary, and you see a lot of that throughout this movie. I think this is a wonderful, and I mean a wonderful 4K presentation. I would almost go as far as to say that it's a flawless 4K transfer. There wasn't one part of it where I kind of turned around and I said, you know what, that could have looked better. It really is that impressive, and if you're a fan of this movie, I highly recommend looking into this one. Now, it doesn't come with Dolby Atmos. I mentioned that in my last video. But, as I said, it does port over the DTS 5.1 that we got on the Blu-ray. And I have to tell you, it sounds absolutely fantastic. It really does. Now, the thing is, when it comes to my sound system in this room, when I knock on surround mode, that means my up-firing drivers get activated. So I get a sense of Atmos, even though I'm not listening to Atmos. And I have to tell you, in terms of the higher channels, there was only a handful of scenes that I could pick out where I was like, okay, that actually does sound quite convincing above you. One scene where Lorraine falls down to the basement and she encounters the witch, and it looks like she's hanging. Well, you can kind of hear her, above that sound space. But again, just bear in mind, folks, that's because I have my surround mode knocked on here. But when I knocked it off, I had to tell you, it's still a fantastic active mix. And the thing is, I don't know what more Atmos could bring to it, if I'm completely honest. It is that impressive. Now, you know me, I absolutely love Dolby Atmos, but I do have to be truthful here. It is still the DTS 5.1. It's still a very active mix. You're going to be engaged in it all. You really are. I was very surprised by how clean it sounds. Even during those kind of heavier action sequences, when I, for instance, the Exorcist scene, or the exorcism scene right at the end of it. It's chaotic. There's so much bass. There's just so much activity. And then there's dialogue in all of this activity and all of this bass. And it's just so clean. You can make out every single bit of detail. It's a wonderful, absolutely wonderful DTS 5.1 audio. And like I said, I'm not quite sure how much more Dolby Atmos could have brought to it. So again, please don't let that put you off it. It's a very convincing audio soundtrack on this one. And I can't imagine you being anyway disappointed with it. So there you have it, folks. That is my short video, my short review when it comes to The Conjuring on 4K. And as you can see by the video, I'm very happy. It sounds amazing. It looks amazing. And like I said before, if you're a fan of this movie, you owe it to yourself to pick this one up on 4K. And if you're a huge fan like me, maybe, just maybe, look into this beautiful collector's edition of it. Still available, and yes, gets my stamp of approval. So there you have it, folks. So as per usual, if you did like what you see here, please do give it a thumbs up. And if you could leave a comment down below. And please share your thoughts on this movie. And yeah, I hope to see you all again real soon with my next video. Until then, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.